Congressman Brandon Gill from Texas joins us now. Sir, good to have you on. I want to just first get your reaction to the FBI's very successful thwarting of an Islamic terror attack in Michigan for over this weekend.
Well, this is exactly what we elected President Trump to do, was to secure our border and deport aliens who shouldn't be here, also to go after Islamic terrorists who should never be in our country to begin with. Let's remind ourselves that America does not have a long history of Islamic terrorism. That is something that is relatively new in our nation's history, and it's something that we imported via a suicidal immigration policy, and that needs to end. So I'm glad that President Trump is helping keep the American people safe by going after Islamic terrorists, that he's doing exactly what he should be doing. But we need to start taking the threat of Islamic terrorism very seriously, and I think our immigration policy should reflect that.
You tweeted about general immigration policy and even legal immigration, you know, that what we've done to the country, we're just foundationally changing this country so quickly in a way that's not healthy, in a way that most Americans are clearly not comfortable with.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, 50 or 60 years ago, can you imagine an American city being woken up in the mornings by an Islamic prayer call that we just heard? That would have been absolutely unacceptable. And I don't think that we have to accept that now. We're seeing a mass influx of radical Islam into Western civilization. It's utterly transforming countries like the UK and France, and we cannot let that happen here in the United States. The values of radical Islam as a political ideology, a political movement, are incompatible with the values of Western civilization. They're incompatible with our constitutional order, and we need to be straightforward about that. If we want to protect this country, if we want our children and our grandchildren to inherit the same safe and free country that we got to enjoy, we need to be straightforward about that.
I want to show Minneapolis, a Somali Muslim in a city that's become very Somalian, Omar Fateh, running to be the mayor. Here he was at a recent rally. See if you can determine whether or not you think this would even be in a United States city. Watch this.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Somalia. Somalia.
I mean, it's like a Trump rally in Mogadishu. I mean, this is what on earth was that, and how is that American politics?
It's not at all. This is entirely foreign, and you can see how mass migration is fundamentally transforming the cultural fabric of the United States. I mean, we are importing values that are utterly alien to American history and American culture and American civilization, and it is changing us, and I think it's changing this country for the worse. We need to be very straightforward about that and realize what is happening. But you've got entire communities, American communities, traditional communities, that are being turned upside down by the mass importation of tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of foreigners who are not speaking our language, who are not assimilating into our culture, and are completely undermining the cultural foundations of this country. That's a problem. Whenever somebody comes into this country, whenever you immigrate into the United States, the goal should be to assimilate as quickly as possible, and that means speaking our language, adhering to our culture, and not going out and campaigning in foreign languages and trying to turn America into Somalia.
It's absurd. I want to get to one final thing before I let you go, and that's SNAP. Program, 42 million people on it. It's more than doubled in the size and the spending of it in just the last 15 years, which is just outrageous. And you have two federal judges today ruling nearly simultaneously the Trump administration must continue to fund SNAP using contingency funds during this government shutdown. Basically, that ruling means that Trump must allow Democrats to keep the government closed while at the same time fully protecting Democrat interests and not letting the shutdown cost them politically with their welfare base. This is political bidding on the part of these judges.
Well, that's exactly what it is. And remember, we wouldn't be in this position in the first place to begin with if Democrats didn't vote to shut the government down. And they've done that over a dozen times now. House Republicans passed a clean continuing resolution. It wasn't filled with our priorities. It was something Democrats should have gone for because they voted for the same bill multiple times in the past, and we're in this position because they want to shut the government down to give health care to illegal aliens, to fund left-wing media, and to fund a variety of far-left social programs, and we're not going to do that. So I hope that we don't have to deal with this going forward, because I hope Democrats will wake up and realize that what they're doing is wrong, that the American people can see it, and that they'll reopen the government so we can get back to work.
Congressman Brandon Gill, good to see you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.